Hi everybody, JJ with Experiences My Dog, and today we're going to be talking about something I think every dog owner should be taking along with them when they take their dog out and about, and that's going to be some type of bowl to be able to feed and hydrate their dog. And in this review, we're going to be talking about this one right here from Wildebeest. This is the Montara pop-up foldable travel dog bowl, and I'm going to talk to you and give you guys some insight and some thoughts on ultimately why I think this is actually going to be a great addition to everything that you take along with you when you go out and about with your dog. So before we get into talking about the Montara pop-up bowl itself, let's just quickly talk about Wildebeest. They're a woman-owned company based out of California. Their headquarters is in San Francisco. They've been around since about 2011, and they make a wide range of different dog-related products. So collars, harnesses, leashes, coats, these pop-up bowls, and a number of other different items. They focus, I'd say, kind of like on a small batch production type of philosophy where they focus on, I think, smart, simple, and effective designs that utilize good quality textiles and materials. So you're not necessarily looking at something that it's a mass produced but is low quality. It's kind of the opposite, where it's not mass produced but it's in a higher quality. So not only are you getting something I think that is going to last you longer, but also probably the usability and the functionality is probably looked at a little bit more deliberately to make sure that you get a good experience. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at this Montara pop-up bowl. So taking a closer look here at the Montara pop-up bowl, its name pretty much says what it does, and that's going to be that this is a pop-up bowl. It's quite compact when you actually have it in this essentially kind of folded down state. It's a 5 inches by 2.5 inches, and it's only 1.6 ounces. So this is extremely lightweight. It's very easy in terms of just being able to kind of put it in a bag, put it into your pocket, attaching it to, let's say, your leash. So overall you can really be consistent about taking this with you pretty much everywhere you go, because while there's definitely other collapsible bowls, and we do have other collapsible bowls, like let's say like a silicone collapsible bowl that sometimes have like plastic lids or other things like that, they're definitely much, I'd say, larger, and while they're not necessarily super heavy, they're going to definitely be ultra lightweight like this is, where you can put this almost into a pocket and you probably wouldn't even feel it. So it becomes something that really can consistently kind of go with you everywhere, and I think that's the important thing. Ultimately, as a dog owners, when we're going out and about, we're taking our dogs out, whether it's going to be on a hot, sunny day or whether it's just going to be for an extended period of time. You want to be able to make sure that you've got an easy way that you can either feed your dog or hydrate your dog. This is really nice because all you need to do is just take it out of your pocket, take it out of your bag, open it up, opens up very quickly, and then from there set it down, and you've now got a nice little compact bowl. Like I said, it's only 1.6 ounces, so very lightweight, but it does have structure, and that's due to actually its design. In terms of the actual materials, there's some very good quality materials that are utilized. A lot of times in these type of bowls, you're going to see, I'd say, very kind of low quality polyester or nylon composition used. Here they're actually using a name brand high quality CORDURA fabric, so that's 1,000 denier. Essentially what that denier means is it's essentially kind of the abrasion rating and the composition of the actual material that's utilized. And so this nylon is extremely tough. 1,000 denier nylon is usually used in kind of like very, very good quality, let's say like backpacks or kind of, let's say, outdoor type of, apparel or different types of equipment that needs to be able to kind of really sustain its overall, I'd say, structure and finish over a period of time. And unlike many of these other bowls, this is actually not just one single piece of construction. They're actually using 2 layers. So they have that external 1,000 denier CORDURA, and then on the inside they've got a 400 denier Packcloth, and so that essentially allows it to have a little bit more structure and also separate essentially those 2 zones right there, so that if, let's say, this area is getting some abrasion of, let's say, maybe on some gravel or some rock or some dirt or anything like that, it's not actually going to be directly getting to the inner material. And the reason why that's also important is because that really makes sure that if you're putting any water in here, you don't have to worry about leakage or essentially anything kind of like spilling out from kind of the corners or anything along those lines. And also just over time, it just gives you more confidence in the overall, I think, kind of durability of something like this. It's going to be folded or thrown about, or even kind of as your dog kind of chewing in there or kind of ruffling around, it just makes you feel a little bit more confident ultimately in the product. So it's well designed with a good set of materials that are utilized. Now, in terms of the overall dimension size, once it's opened up, it's about 4 inches, and it works pretty well. I'd say for the vast majority of dogs, you're generally not going to have an issue. As you get to, of course, larger breeds with really large mouths, really large snouts, I think you're gonna have a little bit maybe more of a challenge. That's where it might be really nice if they made like an XL version of this, or let's just say just a larger version of this. But overall, even with Modoc, who's got a pretty big head, he's 100% American Bully, so he's got a pretty big mouth, pretty big head. He was able to kind of eat out of there. He's got to use a little bit more of his tongue. And dogs, of course, they use their tongue when they're drinking water. So overall, it wasn't really an issue. So again, this is a compact travel bowl, and it's not really about giving your dog like a full meal or massive amounts of water, because there definitely are larger bowls for that purpose. Ultimately, when you're traveling about here, you're just trying to give your dog a little bit of both of those things to be able to kind of have them have some food or have them have some water. And I think in that regard, it does a really solid job. In terms of ultimately what you can put in here, they actually have integrated a Tyvek little measuring line, so you can actually know how much you're putting in there if you want to have kind of a clear reference. Or of course, you can just go free form and put in whatever you feel is the right amount that you want to be able to give your dog. In terms of liquid, it's approximately about 3 cups, or if you go by ounces, it's about 24 ounces that you can roughly fit in here, which is a pretty good amount. If you think that probably in most situations, I think most dogs, they're having a good amount that they're drinking. It's probably gonna be somewhere, I'd say, between 8 to maybe 16 ounces. So having 24 is actually, I think, quite a bit. And you can have a nice little combination if maybe you're mixing and matching. Maybe you're doing a little bit of kibble with a little bit of broth or a little bit of water or something like that. So you've got enough room in there to really kind of allow you to have a lot of flexibility in either putting in, like I said, your kibble, your broth, your water, or the combination of two, and being good to go. It is machine washable, which is nice. When utilizing it, every time I've done it, I've pretty much just hand washed it. So pretty much just opened it up, put a little bit of soap or water in there, rubbed it about, cleaned it out, washed it, and I was good to go. It is pretty easy to go ahead and turn out if you really wanted to kind of make sure that you were kind of getting all those key areas. This was also another nice kind of way when I was looking at the overall construction quality. You can really actually see that it's one single piece of material. Some other companies, for cheaper purposes, they're kind of taping together multiple seams. So while they say that it might kind of be leak proof over time, the seams themselves might kind of have a problem, but because you're using one singular piece of fabric, ultimately it just gives you more structural integrity, and it's just a better way to ultimately construct something along these lines. So in terms of the Elstro construction too, we didn't know earlier, but this is actually produced here in the United States. So from that perspective too, it's nice to be able to support a company that's producing it right here in the US. So lastly, we do have a couple of other just quick things to kind of touch on. Of course, this is entirely foldable. It's very simple to be able to fold up. You just pretty much, it's almost like a little bit of a basic origami, and then you fold it down, and then you've got this strap that's integrated right here, and then Velcro. That's like kind of maybe the one small area of concern, with Velcro. Eventually over time it will wear. I haven't had any issues though, of course, during the entire time that I had, and I think I've had it for now almost maybe 5 months or maybe 6 months, something along those lines, and it still is entirely fine. But that's where maybe potentially over time, maybe I might have preferred having something like a snap as opposed to Velcro, but I think the Velcro works well. Some people too maybe might have preferred like a dedicated option in terms of having like a clip for attaching to a carabiner, so they could hook it onto something, whether it's like a bag or maybe off their pants or something along those lines. But there is enough opening that what we've done is we've gone ahead and been able to pass our carabiner, and it can clip onto anything. So I don't feel that you need necessarily a dedicated point, because there's enough spacing to allow you to go ahead and slide in a carabiner that you could then attach. It also does allow you, with this type of design here, with the actual Velcro, that if let's say you want to slide something like your lead through your leash in between here, then tie this so that you could pretty much carry this with you as you're taking it along with your dog in their lead. You could do that, or alternatively, we always have a carabiner on our lead, which we also carry our poo-poo bag holder on, that we can attach that to, so we could always carry it along too. So overall, I think smart, intelligent design. And then of course you do have the little pull tabs right here to allow you to kind of easily pull this out. And also they kind of have messaged, I haven't really found that I necessarily need it, and I don't move it around too much, but they do state that you can kind of use this if you needed to move around the bowl, if you, let's say, had it filled. And that is, I think, somewhat important, because if you kind of put water in this and for some reason maybe you did want to move it, it's always a little bit precarious to kind of go and try to hold the bowl from the lips and move it around. So that might just give you a little bit more comfort in terms of kind of just putting your fingers in place and then kind of moving it around. So the last couple of details would include that this comes in, I believe, up to 6 colors that are available once you go to the website. And it's generally about $20 in terms of the overall price point, which I think is actually fair, considering it's a small batch production, good quality materials, good quality overall assembly, especially when you compare that to many of the other products on the market. I think are only going to be a single line. They're not going to have the same quality material composition, you know, and you're not going to be supporting also, I think, a local based company. So I think in terms of that, the overall price point is pretty fair. Now, in terms of how this ultimately, I think, compares, I think, to some of the other options you have available, probably the most common option is probably going to be some type of silicone. I'd say a foldable or collapsible dog bowl. Many of those I think are very solid options, and we do have them, and we've taken them on trips or outings when we've taken our dogs out, but they're definitely much bigger. Like I said, it's not something you can immediately pocket. You're gonna put that inside of a bag, or you can put it inside your backpack, or you're gonna have it inside the car and take it with you just because they're larger. They do work well, but there are definitely, I think, varying levels of quality to them. Some are, I think, produced to a very low quality level, and so you find that people have them, and then after a few months, sometimes the lids snap, or the molding processes aren't done really well, and so there's a point of failure, or something rips or breaks, where I think that overall this is going to last pretty well for quite a period of time. So ultimately, in terms of my hands-on experience here, using it over these last few months definitely have been positive. Like I said, I haven't had any issues with it. It's light, it's compact, it does exactly what it does. I definitely feel that it's durable, it's held up in terms of the washes, and overall I definitely feel that it deserves a solid Experiences My Dog recommendation award. So overall, I think kudos to Wildebeest for a smart, novel, and you know, simple but effective product design. About the only thing, like I said, that I think that I would maybe change and maybe a newer version, if they were to kind of redesign or update it, would be, like I said, maybe changing over from the Velcro to snaps. I just think that that's going to last a little bit more maybe in the long term. There's only one singular line of stitching for essentially the folded layer right here that's taped. Well, I don't think that's an issue. Maybe just having 2 layers of stitching would give me even a little bit more confidence. And also, while the CORDURA and the Packcloth are very good quality materials, from a sustainability perspective, I think I'd love to maybe see an option, maybe using something like Reprieve or some form of recycled-based nylon material, just to be, I think, a little bit more environmentally conscious. I think would be a great option. But overall, at the same time, using a very high-quality material is also in itself sustainable, because it means you're not going to be repurchasing something because it breaks down or wears out over a period of time. So all the way around, definitely, I feel this is a solid recommendation, and something you guys should definitely be checking out if you're interested in having something to take along with you when you're taking your dog out and about. If you guys have any questions, comments, feedback, whatever it might be, feel free to go ahead and drop them down in the comment section. And while you're down there, if you guys can go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, it would be really appreciated. And also, if you're interested in seeing other types of content, feel free to let us know what you might be interested in checking out in future videos here on Experiences My Dog. As always, you guys are interested in reaching out, feel free to go ahead and check out the links in the description for social media channels, as well as the Experiences My Dog email. And as always, take care, take it easy, enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to give your dogs a treat from us.